we met many years before we worked together. The girl I was dating at the time, he came and did a music video for her, and then we just kind of stayed in touch on Facebook. And then one day, he just randomly posted, he's like, does anybody have land and some guns? He's like, I've got my slow-mo stuff and just haven't really done any guns yet. And I kind of half-assed jokingly responded because I live like an hour from him. I was like, if you want to drive an hour, sure. And then he was like, yeah, okay.
Yep. No shit, was that fast? You're like, oh yeah, done.
And then a lot of people have probably seen it. It was just muzzle exits of, I think I had like 10 guns or something.
Yeah, they're like really clean white background. Like here's a 9mm, here's a 22, here's a 45, and like I'm used to just post.
Jamie, pull that shit out.
Yeah. Do you guys have a Jamie?
We have a Jamie. His name is G-Van, but we call him Jamie now because he didn't know that reference.
He had no idea. He was like, I got a text. He was like, who's Jamie? Why do they keep calling me? I was like, oh my God, G-Van. Watch one episode.
Making fun of him, like, how the fuck are you in like here in full flannel, a tactical hat, blue jeans, and you've never seen fucking Joe Rogan?
He is, yeah.
Yeah, so I'd done high speed for like 10 years. Like it's pretty much been my whole life. And so
it's something you just don't learn overnight, by the way.
No, not at all. So I'm used to making a random slow-mo video, posting it on Facebook, Instagram, whatever. It gets like 200 views. Nobody cares, but it's fun for me. So that's what this was. So we went and filmed like 15 different guns, 100,000 frames a second bullet, muzzle exits. And then I posted on Facebook, go to sleep that night, wake up, like 4 million views. It's just like on my personal Facebook
overnight.
Page.
Yeah, it wasn't even like a business one. It was just price for
and then I posted it on my Instagram at the same time, and the NRA picked it up and shared it. And that went from like 700 followers on my personal Instagram to like 20,000. Like it literally blew up. And that, like, being from northern Indiana, we're not used to anything ever. So we're like, what do we do with this? And that birthed the channel basically. And then that one creator we met last night, what was his name?
I always get his name wrong. Collian.
Oh, yeah.
Collian, yeah. He shared it as well. So it was basically him and the NRA sharing it is what birthed our channel. So we got to thank him for that last night.
We totally jumped in with it.
Yeah.
Coleon's good people. He's fucking rad.
Donut pointed him out, and I was like, "That's actually him." Bryce just had the video, and he was like, "Hey man,
hard,
does this
hard
look
to
familiar?"
See hard to see at night, but a very good man.
Yes. Yeah. We had to go inside.
We
had to go inside.
Thank you for not hanging me out to dry on that. Difficult to fight at night, though. It's like you white people in the clouds just can't fight.
Can't do it.
Was that Theo Vaughn bit?
Oh my God!
You ever fought six black dudes at night? Close your eyes. That's how many you're fighting.
Now how many you're fighting? Nice.
God. So you guys, and then you're like, okay, hey, this is blowing up. This is, now what's the next step? Hey, let's test different rounds. Let's test it, hitting, falling,
and I think
all that.
Incidentally, our channel started really strong. We happened to get ammo companies reaching out, wanting to send us stuff. Chris from Ballistic Dummy Lab reached out pretty quick. Our first episode is a ballistic head getting shot with a 50 API round, and somehow YouTube didn't care.
Yeah.
YouTube, please don't care anymore.
We didn't even know that we didn't know like all the rules yet.
Yeah.
Like the title, it was like armor piercing incendiary. Like we couldn't have thrown more red flags than we possibly
What's weird is, like, to people who don't know the YouTube side of this, it's not the ballistic dummy head part. Yeah. It's the eye part. It's the incendiary. Apparently, incendiary ammo is treated the same as just a lot of other. Like,
no shit.
Yeah, no, incendiary ammo is not. It's just like full on.
Specifically.
Oh, okay. It's just that like.
Yeah.
Yep. 100%. So, but like somehow we slipped
weird like that.
perfectly into the educational section of ballistics and firearms, and we've kind of just been getting away with it.
Well, you guys do like you guys break down your videos very, very good. That's the one thing. My takeaway was like, okay, they're actually like going full in depth. When you're doing the breakdowns on damage, like the velocity. Hey, you're naming the bone structure and what it's cracking.
Yeah,
I was like,
that's all him. Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck?
Ironic, isn't it?
I get I don't know how you feel about it. I get like kind of jealous of like a lot of the other like gun tube guys because they can just like shoot a bunch, just blow stuff up, like have a great time, get millions of views with it. And we tried that a couple times, just like montages of different stuff, and it's like instead of our usual like 200, 500,000, it's like 20,000. To be fair, like our subscribers want like a question, and then they want answers, and they want they got to show your homework, like how you did it
every time.
To be fair, it took me about 15 years to get to that audience size. And it took you guys too.
Oh my God!
Yeah, a lot of these guys. You have to understand, these guys have been grinding. We've talked about this in the past. a lot of people think, like, we look at you guys and we're like, fuckheads. Fucking congratulations. Oh, shit. But then you do the backside is I've done
this for over a decade.
A decade.
Yeah.
You're the fuckhead now because you didn't do anything. You collected guns, you piece of shit.
I trained in shooting for
30
years.
I'm joking.
Because like even before the obviously the incident we'll talk about later, but like even before all that, I was saying I was sharing your videos to other creator friends of mine, saying like these guys are the big up and comers. I think I showed you their shit.
You literally said that's. Yeah. I remembered instantly. I was like, "Holy shit! Yep, their camera work is fucking next level."
I said these guys are the new up and comers. They're basically doing like a lot of what Richard Ryan was doing back in the day, like with the super high speed, high production quality shit. Yeah. Like nobody's doing that. Like nobody is doing that kind of production shit.
Nobody wants to go 6 figures in debt for a camera.
And fucking fair.
Which my question on that, just real quick, is. How many Phantoms are shooting at once? Because you have multiple different angles. I don't know if anyone else pointed that out, but I was like, do they have 3 Phantoms?
At one point, I owned 4 Phantoms.
Christ.
Hold on.
I thought you I thought you were faking it with like firing 3 different times.
No,
with
so that's why I was like, they're getting 1 for each angle because I was like, holy shit, these are all the exact same cameras.
This is why I'm poor.
I mean, at one.
Okay, Brandon's like, whoa, hold the fuck up.
I can't afford one.
I can't afford any of them.
I'm in debt.
I think one of the shots you brought out kind of like everything and mathed it out. It was like $550,000.
Yeah, it's like $500,000 when all Phantoms are on set. I sold one of them because it's like the oldest of the models. But at one point, I owned a Miro, a Flex, a V711, and a V2512, which is like a very wide range of different use cases for Phantoms.
That's a lot of letters and numbers that sound expensive.
Yes.
I was blown away by the V711. That was the really good one that he had when we got started. And it's so funny now that he got the 2512. The 711 is just like kind of like off to the side.
That's how they're getting like 100,000 frames a second on one shot. And the videos, it's crazy because my favorite I was telling Brandon earlier, I was like, it's crazy watching even how the windshield. I thought I thought that was going to raise.
I thought there'd be so much more deflection.
Yeah. In the military, you were trained, shoot low, it's going to, that 5.56 is going to kick up high, and then you'll hit them in the head. Versus what you guys broke down was like, no. That,
almost no deflection.
Yeah. Especially 308. 308 was the most nasty.
So was it going, I didn't watch all, I saw some of the clips you guys put up on Instagram, but I didn't watch it. Was it going into a windshield and into the person?
Yeah,
right.
Because I think a lot of the deflection issue is outward.
Right.
Yeah, shooting from inside a vehicle and then outward because that's where you get 50 yards down. There's a difference between 3 foot of deflection versus 150 feet of deflection.
Okay.
But military, they still trained us to like aim low in the windshield because it's going to really rise up.
Yeah.
No, Army, you taught me wrong.
Yeah, we don't like
the next one that we want to do will be shooting out, and then we want to get like a newer vehicle because that was like an 80s Buick something. Yeah. Because I don't know if windshield technology's changed much, but
just more
so we just want to get like a newer one.
Yeah. But dude, the 308, Brandon, that thing goes through. It's just like it goes slower than any other thing, other than the blood splatter in the back window is hilarious. Because in the front seat, you just see like it is what's it called? The movie. Accidentally shoots.
Pulp Fiction.
Pulp Fiction.
It's Pulp Fiction in the background because it's like dude's sitting there and there's like splurt like, the entire back window.
You killed someone.
Yeah. I was like, holy shit, that was nasty.
No, like we don't have, like I'm not a gun person in terms of like my background at all. Like I enjoy the physics and how they work and the high speed and all that stuff. So I don't have any preconceived notions. I don't have any preferences for guns. I'm just not that person. So I go into all of these because I want to find out. So it's not like we're setting out to prove what we feel about guns is right. We're like we've heard this is true. We don't have a clue, but we can actually find out and like do the real research. So like that's half the goal of our channel is to like figure out how bullets actually work. Like 50 cal going next to something, is it going to break your arm off? Those kind of myths.
I hate that fucking myth so much because anybody who understands basic physics or math can figure that out. It's like if the 50 BMG. So the premise is.
If the bullet hits 50, like just 1 inch from you, it will tear your head off. That's scientifically proven each and every time. Trust me.
I'm triggered.
So many fucking people say shit like this. They're like, oh yeah, well if it just passes by you, the pressure will kill you instantly. It's like, okay, there is a predetermined amount of pressure that will kill a human as far as pressure wave goes. In order for a 50 BMG bullet to be able to exert that amount of pressure
of
just
light.
by being around it,
Mach 50.
give it, and we know the amount of pressure there at the chamber for a 50 BMG or leaving the muzzle. We know the amount of pressure. To be able to exert that amount of pressure around you to kill you instantly, the bullet would stop after like 3 feet.
Yeah. That energy is dissipated immediately.
Yeah, the energy would be fucking.
But also, there's an even
ridiculous.
easier way to think about it, which is you want bullets to go as long, as straight as possible. So if it's causing all of this sonic disruption everywhere, it's not efficient anymore.
Dibs
it's
on
just
the
like a plane.
Dibs on the indie band name Sonic Disruption, by the way.
Look, I think the
Gates
important
your
thing
ass
to remember
fucking
is that a 9mm will blow your lung straight out of your body.
The president told me.
Yes. Yeah. The commander in chief, he has to know what he's doing.
I think that exact comment is like 1% of our comments.
Oh my gosh, so many times. We get nothing but requests to work with Kentucky Ballistics, and then whatever the hot meme take is of like 9mm blows your lung out or something like that.
like
That's like 90% of our comments.
Well,
And then
everybody
10%
thinks they're
people calling us
commenting
stupid.
it for the first time.
Yes.
I bet it blows the lungs out of the body.
Yeah.
They've never seen this one
It
before.
kind of helped out though, because we did a 9mm versus 45 comparison just on a torso, and it was like a
45
long
won
time
every
ago.
time, right?
Every war. I mean, yeah.
Okay.
But it was kind of like a dead video. We'd done it so long ago. When that 9mm blows the lung out comment came out, it kind of revived that video.
That was our first
and
multi-million
It kind of brought
view
it
video.
back.
That
Yeah.
happens all the time.
Yep.
Yeah.
But like, so that's another example of how I don't have preconceived notions about any of this stuff. So I didn't care about 9mm versus 45. I just wanted to put 2 holes in a body and see what happens.
Man,
But
you
like,
pissed off with some old fudge right
but
there.
like in the high speed, you can see the cavitation size right next to each other and the difference. Like I just thought that was cool. Like that's actual data. Whereas other people are like, well, it still don't matter. I'm not carrying a 9. Like
all I'm saying, brother, is that we stopped winning wars the minute we switched away from 45.
You speaking German right now? Didn't think so.
The Krauts used the 9mm. How'd that work out for them?
How'd that work out?